Here is a very dangerous mistake a lot of people do in crypto, and that is following confirmation bias. The issue is that there's this psychological effect that whenever we buy into an asset, that we want to get our opinion confirmed. So we don't necessarily do this completely consciously. We're simply just following the news, following the influencers that we think are right, that confirm what we already believe. So if you had a completely neutral newsfeed, or you would simply just pick up the newspaper, you would read the articles that already confirm what you believe. Now on top of that, we are now in the internet age, and unfortunately we don't even get a completely neutral newsfeed. And so if you buy into an altcoin and you research that altcoin, then probably, let's say you did that research on YouTube, you'll see a lot of similar videos also discussing the altcoin, also potentially hyping that up. So you don't just have the selection bias from your brain, you also have it from the algorithm. And that's super, super dangerous, right? Let's say you start engaging with the community of the altcoin as well. Everybody gets super hyped. Now your social circle online is also just positive about the altcoin. When would you ever sell, right? If everything is green, if all the information you get, all the information you read about, all the people you interact with, they all always talk positively about it, why would you ever consider selling, right? You would only consider selling if maybe the altcoin went up that much that you feel super uncomfortable with the volatility. But unless that happens, you might never sell. And that very often is too late for most people. That's why a lot of people become paper millionaires, but they never actually are able to realize this. They never find the exit because it's so nice to be on this nice upward trend. It's so nice to make money, but it's not that nice to say bye-bye at the very best of times when everybody else is so hyped about this, right? You don't get the input. And that's why I think it's super, super important, especially in crypto, to always look out for the critics.
Here's the problem with crypto YouTube. People promoting becoming degen or buying 100x coins. That's what gives clicks, but that's not what's going to bring you forward. I refuse to take money from centralized exchanges. I refuse to take money from crypto projects. I refuse to pump and dump a coin and filling up my pockets in the background. I don't do any of this. Instead, I share my knowledge in the form of tutorials in the premium membership. So that's content that won't do well on YouTube, but that builds up skill over time. You can also directly contact me over there. You can directly pick my brain. Feel free to check it out. TheBitcoinStrategy.com is the link.
If you're invested in an altcoin and you see a video why I would not buy ABC or why I'm selling my ABC, even that's even better, then please watch those videos, especially the people that decided to sell. They are the ones that were previously very bullish on the altcoin, then have potentially changed their minds. And that already tells us that this person was able to overcome that confirmation bias. So it's hyper important to actively seek out the voices that are against your opinion, especially for individual cryptocurrencies, especially for this very, very much opinionated space. There's also a saying, right? Don't marry an altcoin. The issue is that you're pretty much automatically marrying the altcoin simply just by following your newsfeed and by interacting online. I'd say when you buy an altcoin, you're pretty much already married to that altcoin, and you have to go to the conscious effort of divorcing from that altcoin, to divorce yourself from the gains, to stop the party, to pay very, very close attention to the just few red flags potentially, right? The picture used to look positive, now it looks neutral to you, but probably in reality, it's already very negative. But simply because we all have that confirmation bias, we all think it's better than it actually is if we are invested. And so this goes for any asset, right? This goes for stocks, this goes for altcoins, this also goes for Bitcoin. I like to watch the critics of Bitcoin. I like to watch the Peter Schiffs of this world. Not necessarily because I agree with them, but simply to see, do they potentially have a point somewhere? And sometimes they might come with ideas to when potentially take some chips off the table, right? Maybe they've got a point that Bitcoin might never be bought by a lot of the central banks, but gold will. So maybe that's a justification that Bitcoin shouldn't be much more expensive than gold. If it's a valid point, I don't know, right? We would have to look deeper, right? We would have to look at how much demand is there actually from the central banks for gold relative to all of the demand. How much are central banks price drivers for gold versus Bitcoin? Has gold a larger total addressable market than gold? If yes, why? What would be a reasonable assumption for the relative market cap of Bitcoin to gold, right? All of those kind of questions start popping up once you look at the critics. So this is my message in this video, right? Try to work very actively against confirmation bias. Don't dismiss the people that are critics. Be thankful for them. because very often, once we are invested, we've got a ton of blind spots and we have to be very active at removing those. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. See you next time. Cheers.